Hey everybody, welcome to the Whiskey Lounge. This is Monte Moore, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my newest Western project coming up here very soon. This is some of my artwork and prints that are here in the Whiskey Lounge. You got Lonesome Dove, and of course Butch and Sundance, and then I hand painted the whiskey barrel. True friends are always together in spirit. So this is the sanctuary. This is the whiskey cabinet. You got an old, authentic saddle up there. Some old tack on the walls. This is a bronze sculpture by my buddy Jerry Vaughn. You got the whiskey atlas, an old trunk for my grandfather, and of course one of the very first. This was the very first of the big prints of the stagecoach, and some family knickknacks and stuff there. And those are old family swords from both of my grandfathers actually. And a print of one of my pieces and a nice buffalo piece. So let me turn the camera around here. So anyway, I wanted to tell everybody a little bit about Blood and Bullets, which is going to launch this Wednesday at 6 p.m. On Mountain Time. I'm here in Colorado. And I wanted to talk just a little bit about, not necessarily specifically that story, but of Blood and Bullets specifically, but a little bit about my background and being Western and why this particular story came about. It's not just picking something out of a hat or wearing a hat like this or having a room like this in the house. My family has been in agriculture and ranching for several hundred years, over 4 generations. I grew up on quite a large cattle ranch in Idaho. We raised cattle. We had buffalo on the ranch. My oldest brother still raises buffalo. Another brother has animals as well on his farm. And so, being a combination of a creative professional like myself, but also having this background growing up doing, roping, riding, building fence. We didn't have a TV on the ranch. We only got AM radio, and all summer long you were gone, and everybody else was in town and, having fun in the summer and stuff. And, summer to us was hard work, literally sun up to sundown. Terms like we rode cattle. Well, that just actually, if you say rode cattle, that means you were on a horse and you were moving cattle, cattle drives. So I actually have experiences like 11-hour days in the saddle where when you get off the saddle, it just feels like you can't walk, because I was not a great cowboy. I will admit it. I was surrounded by really great cowboys in my family, my brothers, my dad, great cowboys. And we did all the branding and all the Western kinds of things on a ranch. So even though Blood and Bullets is a supernatural Western, I wanted to give people just a little bit of context about why something like this particular story is interesting to me, because, I grew up watching a lot of shows like many other people, and some of those shows were already older. Shows like Big Valley and The Virginian, Wild Wild West, Bonanza, all these kinds of shows, all the way up to the modern ones, which I continue to watch. Hell on Wheels, Yellowstone, Longmire. These are all shows that I really enjoy. And so to be able to take your imagination and write a story like Blood and Bullets, where you say, well, how can we do a Western story that people today are going to be interested in? So what if you combine and you make a character that's maybe could be like a Kate Beckinsale from Underworld, and you set that character in the Old West, and you're saying strong and sexy, and in a lot of the Western stories of the past, you didn't get to have these strong, dominant female characters, right? They were the beautiful woman, and they were the ranch wife, or they were the saloon girl, and that sort of thing. You didn't get to really have characters like Mary that were gun-toting, badass, kinds of female characters. So this would what would be called a revisionist Western. In today's story, you know, something more like Silverado is considered a revisionist Western, where, you know, you're you know, doing a little bit more of a modern take rather than just the dusty old, you know, kinds of tales. And so her character, who's Bloody Mary Masterson, and all in the story, you figure out why she has that name. Is it because of what she drinks? Is it because of you know, her quickness with the gun? And also being able to bring in some Native American characters or American Indian, however you decide to phrase it. Is there's also a strong female character in the character of Blackbird, and even our villains. One of the characters is also a strong female character. So one of the points in writing this story from the very beginning, it wasn't to be any sort of politically correct. It was to give voice to some really badass, cool female characters. And I had already written another story called Dead by Sundown that had some similar flavors, but it was more of a male-dominated story. And so this was a chance to really do some cool things with her character of Bloody Mary. And she has a dog named Hamlet. She likes to quote Shakespeare. And so one of the things that they say when you read books on screenwriting and comics and things is that you try to write each character so that that character has their own voice. And that means that when you're reading the words on the page, you should be able to tell which character is saying it by how they say it. And I would say most comics writers, especially today, don't necessarily try to set out and do that and give each character a unique way of speaking, an accent or whatever. So yes, there are going to be a very different dialogue in Blood and Bullets than you saw in Loco Hero due to the way that they speak. You know, a bunch of characters who English is not their first language or main language, you know, very choppy English, lots of y'alls and, you know, that sort of thing because of where and how the story takes place. So to me, I think it's going to be an interesting setting post Civil War in the Old West in Arizona. And it's just going to be a unique take. So I hope that those who are watching this video, please share it out. We're going to try to launch again, or I should say as well, on Wednesday, Mountain Time, 6 p.m. And we'll do a live video from here at the house in the studio, so people can watch and ask questions and things like that. So I also want to take an opportunity to say thank you to everybody who voted for the Independent Creator Awards. And not only did Loco Hero, which was the previous campaign, win Cover of the Year for the Honor Bound cover, but I was very happy to win runner-up for both Indie Publisher of the Year and Indie Character of the Year. And we were runner-up to the great folks at Coffin Comics and Brian Polito. So my hat's off to them for a well-deserved recognition. Hey, Josh, I was just talking about the sworn there. So anyway, you know, this journey of independent self-publishing, it takes a long time. I see a lot of people today, and, you know, they jump on the bandwagon. Hey, I want to do a comic and you know, put all this together, and they, you know, they launch it and they throw it out, you know, 6 months or a year. And that might seem quick, but I wrote Blood and Bullets over 10 years ago. And I started the comics project for it in 2015 through various artists and taking time and making sure everything is well done. And sometimes you have to speed up and sometimes you have to slow down. You bring new people onto the project, or you have to move people off if they're not delivering the quality of product that you're looking for. And so to me, this is much like Loco Hero, and that both of these projects took 5 to 6 years to bring to fruition. So I'm not one to rush things to you know, just to get them out there. And you know, I appreciate the support that people have done so far on the previous Kickstarters. I think if you're following online on Facebook, which if you're seeing this video, you probably are, that you'll be impressed with the quality of art inside as well as the story. I like it to be a complete, well-rounded kind of a project, and so Silvano Beltramo of Italy has done an amazing job on the interiors. I'm so pleased with his work. He's already halfway through the second issue, this first story arc, which is based on my 3 times optioned screenplay, is a 100-page story. So this first arc, this first introduction, a graphic novel, will be the first half of the story. So this is number 1 of a 2-part arc. So I hope you check it out. I appreciate you sharing. I think you'll enjoy it. Indie creators like me, we need your help to bring this to fruition, because in the old days, we had to go to other publishers. And in essence, much of the time, you had to give up your rights to your characters, right? If it was published by, I don't know, IDW or any number of other publishers out there, other than maybe Image, which was supposedly more of the creator-owned type of thing. But when you can go to Kickstarter and we're able to offer our products direct to you, and you can help us get there through social media, we don't have to give up our rights, so that someday if Hollywood comes calling and they say, hey, we'd like to make a TV series or a film of this, you can negotiate that, as opposed to being left out on the street. There's lots and lots of stories, and I know you all know them, about authors who, oh yeah, I created this character, for Marvel or whoever. Didn't matter if it was Ghost Rider, The Thing, or whatever. Most of the time, if they worked for a company, they did not get to, keep any of those rights, because they created that for a company. So for me, this platform of social media and crowdfunding through Kickstarter, Indiegogo, is a tremendous way for us to maintain all of our creator control on our project, on our characters. We get to hire our artists and fire our artists as we see fit, and be our own publisher. And it's really an amazing time that what used to be this small little teeny niche in the market where indie publishing lived, scraping out the bottom 5 to maybe 8% of the market. I would guess now that, believe it or not, outside the big 2, I would say a strong 30, could be less than 30%, but it could be even 30 to 40% of the market and the books being bought, or at least the gross being spent. You look at the fans of Coffin Comics, Aspen, Big Dog, Contraband, a Counterpoint. All of these self-publishers are able to direct their own ship, be their own captain. And it's because of our fans and the support of people who enjoy what we do that we're able to do that. So there's going to be some more art debuts coming in the next couple days, right before we go live on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time here in Colorado. So this is Monte Moore. I'm signing off. Thanks everybody for watching here in the Whiskey Lounge, where maybe we'll be doing our wrap-up party like we did for Loco Hero. So thanks everyone. I appreciate your support. You're the best. So stay tuned and expect more.